to the last seconds of the match. So I'm not sure how confident I am for them going in today against Big. They've obviously put in more work kind of studying Big's roster and play style, especially from seeing what happened yesterday. But Big at the same time is going to do the exact same thing. They're going to see what Dignitas tendencies have been, especially seeing that they already played out today on this exact map against another team. So I'm sure they were taking a look at that match, keeping an eye on the strategies that they were using, and we'll see if they end up countering them.
Yeah, let's see if that one comes to fruition and see if anybody switches up their roles as well. We've already seen that a few times today. And you heard Vanya in that last interview. They did it because they saw every other team. We saw so many adaptations come to fruition yesterday, and they're trying to incorporate that into their gameplay today. And let's see if any teams do that here. Panther, CTF. It does look like Dignitas is going to start on the red side, so they need to make sure they utilize that top statue control in this round.
As they continue to walk on close, Kiduo gets put into panic as he gets taken out by TK. First blood has been found. Pilkey now, shield bubble on the flag, gets to grab it, but for how long? As Cheatin is going to put a quick end to that. Kanata now looking to see if he can close it out, but without having the player advantage, he is going to go down as well. And we're looking to have a reset here.
And Acorn even gets found out. A little cheeky play there as Kiduo just kind of comes around that corner, spots him out, gets the elim. You see the rest of the members of Big trying to push up here. And this is where it's just much harder to break through on this side of the map. So even though they have the advantage being able to look through top statue, it's much harder for a team like Big to push through onto the red team side of base.
Kiduo looking to see if he can find an angle. Acorn, Pilkey not wanting to peek at all. They know the danger that could come from it, as they're just kind of playing this one out slow. The good news of it being 0-0, you have no pressure on your shoulders. You don't have to do anything too risky. You just kind of want to play it out like you always do.
Yeah, this map, this is talked about kind of on the other side with the marksman. It's like a huge playing ground because of how wide open it is. Because there's no hard point that's forcing players to get out of their base, it will tend to slow down just like this. But this is kind of a little bit of a blessing for a team like Big, because this is not necessarily their good side. So if they can end this half 0-0, they'll be in the driver's seat for that second half, where they have a much more advantageous position to be able to push forward.
Probably the most slow we've seen CTF been played on Panther. This is in general one of the slower maps, if not the slowest mode and map combination you can have. Capture the flag Panther, but right now I don't know how many miles away I am from this event right now, and I can feel the tension, Jacob. I can literally feel the tension between these two rosters. They do not want to slip up at all, but Kanata's going to be the first one to take the jump. Kiduo shutting him down instantly with a headshot snipe.
It was pushed up just a little bit too far onto that terrace. The Dignitas, they have the defensive advantage, and they go ahead and put it to use. TK gets two. Pilkey gets a third. Frey is still behind enemy lines by himself, and he is able to get one elimination onto Pilkey. He does have that infiltrator role for the speed boost, but he's going to get shut down. Every member of Big has been reset back to their side, with Dignitas at least having a little bit of map control.
All about that mid-map control, that elevation by the statue. As Cheatin now is going to go for the push. Initial shots aren't connecting, but is able to finish it off. TK with the revenge. As Frey is looking to pick up the flag, it's going to be a 1v1. TK cannot miss this snipe.
Yeah, he probably sees the audio visuals, tries to slow down, catch him off guard into a 1v1, but Kanata attacks on the other side. The bait and switch between him and TK has been phenomenal for these past 2 days so far. And now they're slowly trying to push up. They know even with that one elimination, the rest of the members of Big are positioned on the map. They're going to have to get at least 2 rounds of eliminations here if they want to push in and try to threaten the flag of Big.
Pilkey choosing to stay up by that shield bubble. He will only have the tree as cover when it goes away, so he did drop down. TK cluster grenade attempt from Cheatin, unsuccessful.
Really slowing down right now. Cheatin does have that terrace control. Rest of the members of Big are pushed up in the center of the map over towards that statue as well. They're just trying to wait for somebody on Dignitas to make a little bit of a mistake. Basically a stalemate. I do believe Frey and Acorn staring at each other across the map. The first couple eliminations are going to get cleaned up. Acorn is one of them that will fall, but he's so far away from the hill. There's not that much of an impact and space being opened up by him going down.
TK's going to take the push, though. Trexer now put into trouble as he goes down. This could be what they needed to push up a little further. Cheating though now, gonna be on the defensive.
This is where it's like almost like a chess match. You gotta make sure you play your pieces accordingly. Even though Pilkey goes down, there's not much space being opened up for Big on the map to really push anywhere. It's kind of forced players to make a mistake, and especially since they know there's only 20 seconds left and they're so far back on the map, Big cannot push forward and get a flag capture opportunity back in time for it to count. So they're just playing defensive, knowing that Dignitas has the map control. They want to make sure they don't even have a chance to get this flag touch.
Incredibly close already. We are going to go to a second round of capture the flag here. Still at 0-0. There's going to be 5 more minutes, an exact repeat of what we just saw.
And this is where now the tables turn just a little bit, because we talked about the advantage on that side. And now Big has the advantage. They get the harder side to break through on the defensive end with their flag, and they get the easier push through if they do have that statue control. Dignitas did not really take advantage of that aspect.
Also, just as a reminder, it is 0-0. If it continues to be 0-0 at the end of this round, the winner is decided based on eliminations. The team that had the most elims is going to be the one that comes out victorious. So I don't think we'll see them be too aggressive unless it gets to those last moments and maybe they can see that the opposing team has an elim advantage.
Oh, that's going to be one that's dicey there. They can kind of look. They can look at the scoreboard. They can see where the eliminations are being played, but that will continue into overtime. And it really tells a lot about how they're playing. Kanata, Acorn, trying to take a focus in towards the middle and the back terrace of the map. And that's where it really does have to start for the side of the map that they do have. It has to be able to kind of open up that side of the map, but Cheatin is holding tough there. Trexer is on the red wall, kind of watching towards the middle. He does have his help and he needs it. And then that cluster on top, he should pre-throw it in front of him, which will slow down any push just like this.
Exactly, played to perfection, as you said, Jacob. Pilkey now going to pick up another one. Stop Frey as well with the flag cap, as Acorn is going to be able to pick up that flag and get on the run.
Yep. Open land in front of them. Not too many players from Big are going to be in a position to block this one off. This will be a successful capture for Dignitas off the back of Acorn. A 1-0 lead, and we're already in the second half, which means Big needs to score 2 flags, one of them at the bare minimum in regulation.
Yeah, to clarify what you're saying, they do not have to worry about eliminations anymore. And even if they do end up getting tied up, they have that advantage in overtime, being the first team that got the capture. As now, not only that, picking up a couple extra eliminations, going to grant them that mid control once again and open up that option to go for a second flag.
He's pushing up. He's getting in good position. If they can find a few eliminations or distraction, as Acorn just gets beamed, but he has the whole army there right behind him. Pilkey sees that as a distraction. He pushes in, gets the go-ahead elimination. Siphon back-to-back for Pilkey. Kanata gets another one, and that could be 4 down and out for Big, as Dignitas looking to push up once more.
And they make it happen. Trexer gets caught off guard. Now just one shot away, but the comeback. Pilkey goes down. TK looking to pick up Kiduo. He does it.
Wow.
Snipe comes through. Massive headshot by TK.
Kanata had that one out and long gone, so far away. He went the long way as well. Nobody from Big was able to cut him off, even with that elimination onto TK. Now they're being put into a pressure cooker like never before, from 1 flag to 2, just to bring us to overtime with less than half the time left on the map.
Buster's coming through. Sheedan's looking to see if he can keep himself up. His teammate's close behind. As Pilkey is going to throw a grenade. Unable to connect, though. He's just given away his position, and Kiduo now is going to look for an angle.
TK gets 2 yet again. Pilkey jumps over the top. Another full-on wipe from Big. And you see them taking out full-on map control yet again. Pilkey has that straight cut off. He's watching red wall. He's watching that back bar. Anyone from here, from Frey or Kiduo, will be spotted out by Pilkey.
Going around the side, but TK gets taken out. Cheated out with a quick elimination as Frey gets cracked down. Pilkey has the advantage here, but he doesn't even know that Frey was inside that corner, as Frey now is going to continue pushing towards the flag, but TK is not going to let it be easy.
And another snipe to take one down. Tries to go back to back. Even though he misses the snipe, he still gets the elimination onto Frey. Dignitas doing a good job of defending their throne, pushing every member of Big out, and that's going to be another wipe as Kiduo falls. So every member of Big has been reset back to start yet again, and their time is winding down. They have less than a minute and a half.
Pressure is on. They don't have a lot of time. The clock is ticking. With 2 flag captures for Dignitas, they need more than one. It's a flag capture per 30 seconds. This is the second round as well. They don't have another shot to claim these 2 flags. So Big really has to make something happen.
They need that opening pick, and they need it now, but Bubble Shield is out. Pilkey repositioning, and he's repositioning to where he will have TK's back, but he gets sniped down. That's going to be the opening pick for Big. They're scrambling, trying to find Pilkey next. Back-to-back eliminations. This could be a miracle in disguise for Big, but they need to get that flag out, and they need to get it out now.
This could be it. Their chance for a comeback. 38 seconds. Frey has the flag. He might get knocked down, but they cannot connect their shots. Kiduo, you need these eliminations. He picks up one. Cannot get TK, though, and they're going to be able to return the flag.
That's going to be it. A huge deflating moment here for Big in map number 1 as Dignitas is doing all but seal the deal. Quick eliminations like that. Acorn knows it's won. 15 seconds is clearly not enough time left on the clock for Big to get both of the flags they need to force overtime. So fresh off of a rematch, off of a win for Dignitas in their elimination match, they take an early 1-0 series lead over Big in our qualifier match.
That's a good start. I think that's what Dignitas needed. Now they're going to be looking a bit more confident going into the next match. They were a little scared. I think both teams are playing a little scared. You know, they don't want to do anything too aggressive. They're playing very calm and calculated here. They just don't want to mess up. But once you start winning those rounds, you take map 1, maybe even map 2, you can play a bit more like you're more used to. And that's exactly where Dignitas excels in.
Yeah, and these flags that Dignitas had, you see the position that they had, being able to look over, they're defending their flag, easy for Pilkey to get a couple of those eliminations, and even in moments like this, he's able to get 2 eliminations and quickly looks up towards cheating on the 3rd. That is full-blown map control in moments like that for Dignitas. So I feel like throughout the course of this match, there might have been a few moments where Big was able to get in, threaten the flag, but throughout most of the match, it was almost no threats for Dignitas on their side of the map.
No threats, but that can only last for so long. This is map 1 out of potentially 5 maps. If we get down to the last one, it could end just at 3. Taking a look at the vibes from Big, they don't look completely let down yet. They know it was a close match and anything could have happened. So it's all about just locking in for the next one.
Speaking of close matches right now, quick update. The last we saw was Team Falcons 1-1 against Dragon Esports, with them leading in the keeper. Since then, few maps have flown by, and we are in Game 5 territory. Team Falcons versus Dragon Esports, playing Hardpoint on Chalet, and that is upset material written all over it on the mainstream qualifier match of its own right, just like we have Dignitas versus Big here. Qualifier match, the 2 last ones of the day.
Yeah, it's tied up 2-2 now. They are in the literal last match. It's a hard point on Chalet. Falcons is currently in the lead in terms of points, but the match has just started, so we'll see how that one does end up concluding. It could be one of the biggest upsets, if not the biggest upset of the tournament, if Falcons does not end up winning, but also one of the most inspiring stories from Dragons if they're able to take it home.
That is true. That would be completely inspiring for the whole region. Would be inspired after that one. Just kind of rewriting history. The first time Dig and Big played in their 5-game series, Big was able to take a map 1 victory on Panther, capture the flag 2-1. This time Dignitas gotten their 1-0 victory. And if you look at history in that map number 2, Panther on hard point, Dignitas did pull off a 250-151 victory. So not only are they rewriting history, they have it on their side going into map number 2.
Yeah, they have the advantage if we look at history, but you never know the work that was put in behind the scenes from Big's roster. Have they prepared for their weaker mode? Will they be able to turn it around this time? I don't think I've ever seen Kanata so focused up right now, talking to the coach, making sure they're ready to go. They know the job's not finished. They're just getting started. But right now, Dignitas does have the upper end.
Yeah, I got to give it to every member of that team is playing phenomenal in that last match. You know, when things did slow down, they did a good job of kind of not getting overzealous, not getting over aggressive at any turn. Very, very low in terms of elimination numbers all around. The most is going to be for TK at 16. On the other side, the most was 11 for Kiduo. And it was kind of relatively kind of slow and not as chaotic as we know these matches can be. But I mean, that just goes to show Panther on CTF, wide open map. There's no hill that is forcing the action. So that's kind of how it plays out.
We're now loading in. The players getting ready. Good news is they get the back-to-back. You don't have to go from Chalet, from the winter map to a desert map. It's back-to-back Panthers. One on Capture the Flag, now on Hardpoint. You said it yourself, Jacob. Dignitas excelled in this mode previously. However, Big has had a lot of time to kind of put in the work behind the scenes now to prep themselves for taking out Dignitas. Will they be able to do it? We don't have to wait long.
Yeah, and at least now that they kind of at least got that first match underneath their belt, they're no longer kind of being fueled off of scrims and warm-up matches. They now at least have one map of repetitions, and now they got to make it worth it here. If you look at the mini-map, almost an even spread around the court. A main focus for both of these teams is going to be on the statue.
TK now, dynamite in hand, looks for a nice little explosion, but is going to get shot from the side. Trexer gets connected, gets the elimination onto Kanata, though. This is a big start if Trexer picks up another. Looks like the hard point is going to start in Big's favor. They will get the initial cap.
Nobody from Dignitas threatening it just yet. They don't want to just randomly throw their lives away. They want to wait till all four of them spawn up. That way they can make a team push, and they're starting with that back terrace, spreading their numbers out, which in turn is spreading the numbers of Big out as well. They're going to contest that hill against Cheatin on the other side, but they have a focus towards the outside where a lot of that damage will come from. Frey is able to pinpoint 2 because of it. Kanata should go down here as the third elimination for Big.
Now TK, once again, trying to get a nice little dynamite onto the point. He could take out Cheatin if he throws it correctly. Misses, unfortunately. Just 12 seconds left. Are they going to go for this next push, or are they already rotating onto the second point? It looks like they are going to give this one up and play for the second point.
You almost have to at that time. Dignitas, they realize it's still very, very early in the game. No reason to fight for scraps at this time, especially when they have decent map control, but Cheatin cuts that one short along with Kiduo. They find 2 straight eliminations on the Pilkey and Kanata. TK is going to fall all the same. Kanata and the rest of Dig, they do have that back spawn though, so it's going to be easy for them to try to get back into the fight.
Now Kanata looking to see if he can connect one of those angles. Already slowly closing out that gap as Cheatin has been taken out. Kaduo's left alone without any shield to work with. Gets taken out shortly after. Frey being the last one. He won't last too long as Dignitas now have control once again, but the spawns come through. Kiduo, Trexer have made it back on point. TK needs to connect his shots here.
They're just waterfalling in the hill one by one, but they're winning their fights, which matters most, until Cheatin and Frey both go down. Kanata, Acorn, fresh off the respawn. They make their presence known, but with only scrap time left, you see the rotation coming out of Big. They're grabbing Lambo. They're grabbing that back spawn, but most of their players are sitting in the 50 because they know Dignitas has to rotate on through. So even if they do get eliminated on the side of Big, they will be up and at them quicker than Dignitas will.
Kiduo has sniper rifle in hand. He knows he needs to connect this shot as he doesn't have any shield to work with. Acorn can see his feet from under the car, tickling his toes. The shot's coming through. Kiduo gets taken out. Cheatin now looking to see if he can get that avenge on his teammate, but he goes down too. Acorn does not want to miss a shot this time around.
A quick cut and a reposition, keeping him alive. Bubble shield. He's trying to stall it out. Wait as long as he can. He sees a member of his team trying to push through that back spawn. That is going to be a crash opportunity, but Kanata hiding around the corner. He does enough damage before he falls. Pilkey, Acorn, they chain together 2 quick eliminations, and TK's watching the whole center of the map towards that red room before he falls. Now Acorn knows the push is imminent. They're going to move in. He's trying to buy as much time as possible. Gets 1 elimination, and that might have been more than enough time for Pilkey and Kanata to return back to the Lambo and retake control.
They do it, but for how long? Next point just 3 seconds away, and Big has already positioned themselves onto it. So now it's going to be a full-on 4v4 battle for this 4th point.
Frey and Big once again trying to be the first ones on over. They have a 3-point lead for now. The hill has already been moved, but TK and the rest of Dignitas are in position to test and contest the hill, so they cannot step foot in it without making sacrifice. TK finds a shot over the top. Doesn't connect with anything. Bubble shield going down from Pilkey. He's trying to overstep his boundaries with the EMP. He's going to eat it and eat some shots shortly after.
Shots coming through. TK's cracked, but so are his opponents. Cheatin goes down. Frey falls court shortly after, as now TK is back on the point. 30 seconds left in Dignitas's favor. They've tied it up, and they are causing a lead now.
Ooh, nice shot by TK. Getting Cheating down weak, making him second guess that one. He's going to fall overall. Frey's going to be next. Dignitas doing a good job of holding on and breaking through this hill successfully. But as they do, you see most of that time was already drained off the clock, so they're not as big of a lead as they should have.
Let's just see if TK can make something happen. He is going to go down. Kanata going to the next point once again. This is the last point before a reset back to the first one. Dignitas already hitting triple digits now, continuing their lead on top of Big.
That's all they have to do is continue to put Big in Blender, throw him off that pedestal, cause a lot of confusion and commotion throughout each and every one of these fights, especially with TK staying alive. They finally had to deal with him, but Dignitas, they have that back rock spawn for this hill as well. They had it for hill 2, and now they have it hill again for this P5.
Let's see if they can continue holding on as Big is trying to close that gap as much as possible, but Pinky does not want to let it happen. Kiduo goes down. It's back onto Dignitas. 20 seconds left. This is huge for them.
This is a good amount of time because they're just extending their lead even further. Even though it's just scrap time that could be looked at it, but all that scrap time starts to build up and it starts to add up to about a 40+ point lead for Dignitas. And they're trying to keep that going, rotating from P5 back on over to restart P1, where they get shut down by a double from Cheatin and full control of the Big. But how long can they hold on to that control?
Kanana waiting for the flank, but Frey has a bit of suspicion. He knows something's up. Something isn't right here. And the good news is they already have the point, so Frey does not have to play aggressive. He has to just wait for Kanata's aggression, but has he made a mistake? Gets cracked, goes to help out his team, does secure one of those eliminations, but TK is going to shut him down, and it looks like Dignitas once again have claimed this initial point.
And they hold on to it for longer right now because it does look like Big is scrambling to try to take that statue control, which allows for Dignitas to continue to bleed the time off this hill. 20 seconds left. They finally make a contest for it. Frey's able to get 2 eliminations back to back. Kiduo gets 1. 3 members of Dignitas do go down, but again, look at the time remaining on this hill. That's a blessing in disguise because Dignitas spawns on over to the back rocks and gets a free rotation to PTU.
TK just needing to land one more shot onto Kiduo, but he's crouching. He's juking him out. He's not letting them hit that shot. TK now looking like the last player from Dignitas, but the quick scope comes through. Will it be enough as Trexer goes down as well? His teammates now arriving. It's Acorn. It's Kanata looking to take it back.
Having that extra spawn is being fruitful here for Dignitas. They're able to set up and get in a position, forcing Big to continue to waterfall into the hill one by one, but this time they have numbers on their side. TK is able to get back-to-back eliminations, though. Cheatin's trying to turn the sides. He gets 2 eliminations himself. Him and Kiduo are trying to hold onto the hill with a quick elimination onto Acorn. Both Cheatin and Kiduo themselves, 2v4, wipe every member of Dignitas off the map.
I don't know how they're doing it, but they're continue to hold on strong. Kanata almost getting taken out, but now gets that siphon right back. Takes out Frey as well, but Trexer is going to put an end to him as Pilkey now has the high ground. Does not have an angle on Trexer, though. Shield bubble comes down. Shots come through, and TK is going to finish it off. Just 5 seconds now, so they have to focus on the next hard point.
They've been doing a good job closing the gap. Less than 40 points now. Kiduo are already positioned on the next hill. Again, they do have that back Lambo spawn. You can see where Dignitas is choosing to push. Straight through the middle, straight through the red room. They catch Kiduo off guard, even with eliminations being traded on. Dignitas is seeming the one that getting the point on the hill. Kanata late to the party, gets shut down as well. Frey and Cheatin are able to hold on to that hill.
TK looking for an angle here. No connection so far. Shield bubble is going to come through, but with the EMP plus the shots, Pilkey goes down, and Kiduo now forced for a quick scope. Will it be enough as Trexer finishes them both off?
They're getting a good amount of time off of this, from almost 40+ points down to about less than 5 points, and it does look like they're going to be able to claim the lead from Dignitas on this one, but it does get stalemated. Acorn's pushing in. TK and the rest of Dignitas, 4 members flooding directly onto the hill. They find the eliminations, and they separate every member of Big, but they quickly find 2, and they leave that hill knowing that if they get these eliminations onto Dignitas, they're going to get free respawn and free utility because of it.
Yeah, Big is going to be able to initially claim this point, but can they hold on long enough as TK goes down? He needed to reset that HP. Acorn looking for an angle now. He needs to take out at least 1. 2 would be ideal, but with Acorn getting cracked, Kanata getting eliminated, it looks like Big is going to get a good amount of points here.
Trying to cut it Cut it again, steal the lead, 10-point lead here, 30 seconds left on this hill. They cannot win, but they can get dangerously close, which is forcing Dignitas to try to contest this hill. They're scrambling in. 2 quick shutdowns for Dig, which is answered back by a couple quick shutdowns on the side of Big, but Dignitas has control of the hill, and even more so with Trexer going down.
It's still extremely close. It's the first one to reach the 250 points, and now with both teams over 200, Big continuing to stay in the lead.
Nice shutdown by Pilkey. Spots out Kiduo on the other side. He's already get 2, but he's playing it calm. He's not getting too greedy and biting off more than he could chew. He's not going for the 3-piece, but him staying alive here is forcing Big to have to worry about him, but they quickly find him as soon as he resurfaces.
Cheated out, getting extremely low, but Acorn has been cracked as well. Dignitas currently holding this point down. This could be the last point of the match as TK takes out 2. Can he make it 3? Frey being the last one. He gets him as well. This could be it for Dignitas if they can continue to hold on.
They have just enough time, barely just enough time, a few seconds to spare. If Big is going to try to contest this hill, it's winnable for them as well. 23 seconds is all they need to get into the hill just in the nick of time. Acorn trying to contest it, and they do it. Even though Big does have control of this hill, it is not winnable for them. They're going to bleed this one dry and try to be the first one to P1, where it began, where it restarts here.
But they know it all comes down to the last point. They have to battle it out. Dignitas needs to hold on, but it looks like they've tied it up. 237. Both teams are with the same amount of points, but with Kiduo now coming in, full HP, full shield, he has to close this one out from Dignitas.
Big was able to take down 2 players. Kanata's trying to hold on, but multiple players of Dignitas are going to fall. 6 seconds for Dig, less than 10 seconds remaining for Big, but Dignitas, fresh off the respawn, striking straight onto the hill. Couple eliminations are going their way. 4 seconds is all they need. Late to the party. In comes Acorn, saving the day. 1 eliminations, make it 2. Dignitas clutch up. Kiduo gets shut down, and they take a 2-0 lead late into map number 2 with a big clutch.
Lightning finish for Dignitas, energized up the way they closed it out with just a few seconds to spare. That has to be devastating for Big. They lost yesterday. Dignitas got taken out in a series of 5, going down 3-2 to Big. And now, starting it off in the rematch 2-0, they have a chance to make theirs.
Look at this right here. Early on, it looked like Big was able to get some good control. For the first 3 hills, they had it, but Acorn, I got to give him every single credit in the book. I called him out at the start of the day. I said, what went wrong? He said, it's my fault. It is my fault for sure. And from the capture the flags in map 1, the hard points here in map 2, Acorn has been a defining force. I don't care what the stats say from here on out.
I don't care either. It's all about this next match, Jacob. We've had capture the flag, we've had hard point, and it's all gonna come down to keeper. If Dignitas can take home keeper, it's gonna be a 3-0 sweep. I didn't say clean 3-0 sweep because it's been incredibly close. 3 points was the difference on that final hard point. So Dignitas does have the 2-0 lead in the series, but if Big takes home keeper, anything could still happen.
Yes, hills like that, they were able to break through, regain the lead on back, mere seconds away. TK and Acorn fresh off of the respawn. Acorn sacrificing himself, taking a lot of that damage first. The bait and switch was in, and they solidified. Look at the excitement coming out of them. Even Kanata's looking a little surprised there.
He couldn't believe it.
I bet you ask him, he'd probably say himself, we shouldn't have won that map. We shouldn't have. Kanata is probably one of the most honest people in the community.
It's what you love to see, but that's the excitement you live for in these competitions. But at the same time now, Big knows they have everything in their right to win this match. They have what it takes. They have just been points away from not winning these rounds, these maps. So now in keeper, if they can take it home, it could be the start for something big.
Yeah, and because of Big losing that map, they actually get side preferential on map number 3 if they want the red side or the blue side. And what we've seen throughout the history of these maps, red usually is picked from a lot of these teams. There's a lot of advantages on that side for that red side. And if they somehow, some way climb back into this series for Big, that is going to be huge for them, because if you look at the map cycle and the sides that they do get, Big does get red side for map number 5 on that hard point, and red side has the biggest advantage on that map. But for only way they can utilize that advantage is win the next 2 at bare minimum.
Yeah, Dignitas does not want to let them go down to a map 5. They need to do everything in their might to take home this game of Keeper. Already loading in. One last reminder, we're playing a new game mode on Taverna Zoni. It's first to 150 points. You get points by picking up the key on the map. One player can hold on to it, but he does get a movement debuff, so he goes a bit slower. We've seen some strategies come to play. Vanya, for example, instead of playing Marksman, he played Infiltrator to get a little speed boost, making him a little faster when he has that key in hand. There's 2 separate rounds, first to 150. We're getting started now.
Yeah, I think on Keeper, getting that infiltrated class is huge, because they're realizing how hard it actually is to buckle down and solidify one spot. I know we talked about the tower side of the map. I know we talked about basement side of the map. But even then, when a team has full control, there are moments. There are moments to where a player can break in and break that control. So what we're seeing, this change from this past couple of group stage matches, it hasn't really been practiced too much. It's adaptation on the fly, is that infiltrator class being introduced in place of the marksman because of that speed boost and being able to kind of keep rotating that key around and out of your opponent's hands.
That's what you'd love to see. And just like that, we're kicking things off hot as Freight looks like he was close to picking up one, but he is going to go down. TK with the snipe, unable to connect, as Kiduo is holding on to this initial key, but he's got someone hunting him down.
Yeah, and already seeing more difference in strategy. TK keeping the marksman, infiltrator being switched up for Big and Kiduo. So far, that's been a little bit of a difference maker, allowing them to get that key and out with 14 points so far. But TK, if he keeps hitting shots like this, that's going to be a null point. He's going to be a difference maker. Damage is in. He follows up to get that elimination as well. Almost a full wipe for Dignitas, giving them opportunity and control over this key.
Kanata already with 5 eliminations, but the other battle was about to come through. Trexer gets absolutely obliterated, though. 3 players now playing together alongside Kanata. The whole group has been put together, as all they have to do is stay up.
They already took the lead on back. Acorn with a triple by himself. He gets the quad. Acorn is heating up. Who knew the secret for Acorn was just calling him out? And now I know why those FNCS champions are so plenty for him. They go ahead and call him out because of how good Cold actually is. He's performing when it matters most, but the control has shifted. Big now has the key back under their hands, but a siege is underway. Dignitas from multiple angles. They're attacking, and they're attacking fast, but TK with two straight eliminations for him, 2 more for Pilkey, a full wipe for Dignitas.
The glory didn't last too long for Big, as now it's in the hands of Dignitas once again, up to 50. They are continuing to gap Big here. They need a good push.
Yeah, Big needs to figure out a way to kind of get momentum on their side, not just eliminations, but a setup after the fact. Kanata slowing things down, is able to get 1 back-to-back eliminations for Kanata. 6 so far overall, and he's spotting out this rotation. Even though if he doesn't hit anybody, doesn't get any eliminations, that's quick and easy communication, allowing for his team to try to set up.
72 for Dig. Big is going to continue to close that gap, though. They need to get as close as possible here, as Cheatin plays the push, but TK gets the best of him. Frey now trying to revenge his teammate, and he does exactly that. Pilkey goes down, Kiduo goes down. It's Acorn versus Frey.
Acorn just dancing around. Trexer is there as well. Acorn gets the siphon, keeping himself alive. Bubble shield, quickly grabs the Klinger and goes straight in. That was an unorthodox play. Doesn't work out, but I love the effort of trying. Big trying to get the key under their control, but it's quickly answered back. Dignitas just seems to be so much quicker than Big on a lot of these rotations after the spawn.
Klinger takes out Kanata, has to be careful. TK picks up 1. Trexer now with a good amount of damage put onto Dignitas, as they are going to be able to pick up that key once more.
More than doubled up on the score line, but the mechanic for 2 points hasn't jumped into play just yet. The deficit isn't large enough, but Kanata is trying to turn that tide. He gets that quick elimination. You see them hunkering back just outside their spawn towards these tiles, and this has been the best setup so far for Dignitas, and it's honestly been the best setup for a lot of the teams we've seen on Keeper on Taverna so far.
Cheetah now looking to take out Kanata. He's already been cracked. His ring around the rosy. Time for Kanata. Can he hold on long enough? Yes, he can. He takes out Cheetah, and he continues on forwards. Frey now forced to help out his team, but as everybody goes down, Frey is put into trouble.
It looked like he was doing like a little bit of moonwalk walking, and in place there for a moment, just zigzagging back and forth. The key back in control of Big. I want to see them get him out of this spot because they haven't been able to accumulate a lot of time, bringing it back on over to Tiles. The rotation comes in. Dignitas cuts them short once more, but Big has found a way to keep the key under their control. They're still trying to rotate it around, but they can't seem to leave this side of the map.
Closer and closer to triple digits. Dignitas already at 110, but this could be their shot to get that lead once again. Pilkey's picked up the keys, trying to make his great escape, but with Kiddo right behind him, Trexler as well, as he goes down as Pilkey just clutched it up.
Yep, quickly trying to rotate that on around. As soon as those players are coming to respawn, he sees where they're at, and he knows the communication from his team, tries to rotate it on back over to those tiles, but he gets cut short. Multiple members of Big are on the other side, but the battle's ensuing between them and Dignitas. Kanata's able to get two before he goes down, so Dignitas opening up every single opportunity as they reclaim control of the key.
The lead continues, 135 and climbing quickly. It's only up to 150, just 10 seconds away from Dignitas crowning themselves champions of this first round. And with 19 seconds left, it's going to be almost impossible for the comeback from Big. It looks like Dignitas will be able to close out this first round, but it is best of 3. We have another round of keeper here, Jacob.
Yeah, and I just want to see on the side of Big, they did a good job of getting eliminations. It's not like they didn't have control of the key, but they held it on that side of the map. Every time Dignitas had the key, they either rotated around and eventually circled back there, or they just held that position. I wanted to see Big just take it out of there. Even if they didn't have a setup, it was obvious that Dignitas was comfortable where they were, so I wanted to see them disrupt that comfortability. Now that the first round is over, they have a second chance to do just that.
They gotta lock in for it. 0-0, another fresh start. Big has to make it count.
Oh, no. Kanata's definitely making it count. Basically getting a 4-piece to start the game, but TK steals that one away. And it's interesting because of TK having the marksman, they don't have an infiltrator, so Kanata and Acorn have been taking the role to grab the key and dance around with it.
Right now, we're gonna see if he can make his way back. Kanata on the edge of the map here, trying to stay up, but with TK going down, Brain out is going to be on deck as the bodyguard. Issue is not too much HP, but with his teammates close by, they are going to be able to pick up those necessary eliminations and hold on to this key.
Big flank by Acorn yet again. Even though he goes down, he does cause enough disruption for the rest of his team to try to reunite onto that play. A loss on that fight from TK. Trexler is going to be able to keep the key alive back to back as he takes down Pilkey as well. He gets reinforcements from his team, and you can see them, the process of where to position themselves because they know the push is imminent.
Acorn now pushing in alongside his team. Frey is going to get the best of him, though. Trexler trying to make the great escape, but he finds Pilkey while he's at it. Shots coming from the back. He just has to keep on running here. They're trading the key, but they don't know where to go. Acorn on the flank is going to take out Trexler. I lied. Trexler gets the best of him. Elimination, and now the key card is on the ground.
Yeah, quickly shut him down. They were trying to relay it back on over to Kaduo, who has the infiltrator, but they can't seem to get it in his hands just yet. And more displacement coming through. Kanata gets one. Acorn trying to clean up what he had, and that is 3 straight eliminations for Dignitas and Acorn, getting the key back under their hand. And you see the infiltrator. He's taking the role. He's just trying to quickly run it back on over to the tiles where they were able to get the majority of their time in round 1.
This match is a lot closer now. Dignitas has to put their foot back in the game as it's just close to 35, 49 points. Trexler is going to get the best of him, though. Lead is continued by Big.
Just simple trades back and forth. The teamwork just being the focal point here for Dignitas. They just always seem to have the help that they need every step of the way. And Big is just getting taken down one by one by one. Kiduo is by himself on this side of the map as well. 2 members of Dignitas shut him down easy, and they're continuously keeping the at least 1-man advantage for the members of Dignitas throughout the majority of this round.
They're back to their comfort zone. This is where Kanata likes playing. Pilkey, though, has to be careful. He finds Cheatin, as now it looks like they might begin on their rotation. Frey with full HP is going to get Kanata. Cheatin has to come in with the flank, but Acorn, does he expect it? He does not. It looks like Big might just have a chance to get the key card here once again.
Yeah, even with Frey going down, he did his job. Clusters, grenades towards the outside, forcing Kiduo out of position where Dignitas can immediately take him down. Frey continuously praying, spraying, trying to get any elimination that he can, but he gets shut down again by TK as Dignitas, look where they're at, back into their homeland, towards their tiles, just right out of their spawn.
Gotta rename this the dig tree as they continue to try and stay up, but Trexer is not gonna let that one happen. Pilkey now down mid. Trexer connecting a huge amount of shots. Shield bubble is not gonna protect Pilkey enough as the push comes through.
Back to back. Even though Pilkey didn't get the first elimination, he caused so many distractions there from tower and eventually got that second one, which allows him to get set up yet again. Big not watching their corners. They immediately get shut down, even with TK falling. Full advantage on over to Dignitas. Pilkey yet again. They call him the zero build god for a reason.
Kanata going back to his nice little humble abode here. We know how much he likes to play in this corner, and rightfully so with the amount of points they've been able to pick up. Now the rotation's going to come through and the danger has been sensed. Cheaton is going to be able to get one. Trexer now going for the assist.
Yeah, he has to try to stop the time from being accumulated, but ends up in a Dignitas sandwich. He gets shut down. Acorn and Pilkey helping each other out, allowing for Kanata to freely rotate this one around. 50 seconds left on the game clock. 124 seconds left needed for Dignitas to win.
The series is already 2-0. This is the second round. This is the last chance that Big has to keep themselves in the Esports World Cup. They cannot lose this if they want to keep on pushing forwards, with Dignitas having the key card on their back, getting closer and closer to that 150 points that will grant them the win. It looks like they have it in the bag.
Yeah, the only thing that looks like they'll save Big now is that 2-point mechanism that comes into play, and you can see the celebration headsets off from Kanata as well. They go ahead and solidify that map 3 win, and they close out the series in a 3-0 sweep over Big, eliminating them from the tournament and grabbing their spot at the playoff stage.
What a comeback from yesterday. Dignitas had just lost to Big 3-2. They had a little break. They got a day to figure out what went wrong, and now coming back at it refreshed, a brand new